Welcome, one and all, to episode 260 of The China Show, the real China Show.
You know, the 260, episode 260, we've come a long way.
Yes.
We also need to shout out whatever area code 260 is. That is Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Excellent. Well, you know, it's just the way it goes. Guys, China's falling apart. We're not joking about this. We got some good stuff for you today.
I wouldn't say it's good.
Well, I mean, good content. I didn't mean China falling apart is good. It's terrible. It's terrifying.
Also, the things you're going to see are not good. We do have quite a bit of humor in here to pepper in. Because if we don't, it's going to be a dour one.
Don't worry. It's going to be a good show, guys. Let's get started. Let's just saunter right into it with what's new. And what is new today? Let's get this volume up there.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
Now, quickly, let's take a look at some typical street food. Really, really kind of cool. This is the kind of thing you can expect.
One of the good things about China.
Yeah.
Except for the gutter oil.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Stay away from that. Let's see.
老板
6块。
哎呦我操，这太怪了！我不要这个，我要葱花。
It's so...
Yeah.
Pause that real quick.
Yeah.
I like how that clip makes you feel like something else is going to happen, doesn't it?
Yes.
It seems like, it doesn't seem like something bad's in him. It's like, how quick is this guy good at pouring his stew?
Yeah.
But no, it's just a woman dropping her stew.
Pretty much.
That's what's new in China. We bring you the highest quality content.
Yes. Sorry, I just advanced it a little bit. Another little clip that's been going around, kind of fun. We like to put these funny clips in the beginning, and we got a couple of them to get through, so let's do it. Okay.
Dropped his milk tea.
Oh, no. It's smashed. Oh, no.
It turns out to be a love story.
Yes. Okay, what's
This is
happening here?
Mahjong. So Mahjong is China's version of poker, really. It's like poker and dominoes mixed together. And what's going on here is people love to smoke. Well, Chinese men smoke a lot.
Yes,
So what,
yes.
70% of Chinese men smokers?
Yep.
At least the last stat that I looked at. They like to smoke while they play Mahjong and gamble.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of women do not like this because some women do not smoke, although that rate is going up
You know what?
a lot.
You know what's the strangest thing in the world is that in China right now, young women are starting to smoke
Yes.
more and men are starting to smoke less.
Trading.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you see that elsewhere.
No, it's
know?
very, very interesting.
Cigarettes we're talking
Yeah.
too, not just vapes.
No,
Like
of course,
yeah.
cigarettes, mostly cigarettes. This is kind of an interesting thing because this is obviously a bit of a joke, but she set up like a fishbowl on her head with a pipe so she doesn't have to smoke the
The other woman's got a tissue in her.
Yes, in her nose. Yeah, just kind of fun. But yeah, mahjong's crazy.
This guy's trying to block this dude. he just pauses.
Yeah,
is
that's
great.
really funny. Hang on. Okay, something's going on here. What is this?
What? Well, I'll let the audience guess.
Okay.
What do you think is happening here, guys?
Yeah, just put it in the chat.
Lads and ladies, you let me know. We got Goldar. We got like a spray painted golden woman laying on the ground.
Well, she's crawling on a red
Prostrating.
carpet.
Yes.
What do you think the reason for that could be?
What do you think this woman is doing?
Yeah.
Take some guesses.
While you do that, I wanted to talk about mahjong. You know, you often hear about stories of people dying playing mahjong.
Yeah, they get addicted to it.
Yeah, it's not just that. They sit there for so long without moving.
They atrophy.
Yeah, and then when they stand up, they get like what is a blood clot?
Yeah,
What is that
DVT.
called? Yeah, deep vein thrombosis.
Thrombosis.
It's not even a joke.
Yes.
It happens often.
We got her wheelchair broke, humiliation fetish. She dropped some coins. Lost her contact. Lost her diamond.
Okay, let's just play it.
Public shaming.
You're all wrong.
You wrong!
Yes.
Surprise, guys. It's none of those things. Let's do a quick pan.
Yes.
Come on, give me a pan.
Give us a Peter.
Give us a Peter Pan.
There we go.
It's Mao. Surprise Mao.
She was, worshiping Mao.
Yes.
Imagine crawling around like for a dead dictator, murderous dictator statue.
Jerky man.
But just a statue of it.
My favorite thing is that it's a guy that murdered tens of millions of your own people that you lived through.
Yes.
And you're like, I need to worship this guy. I freaking love that he murdered my family.
Yeah.
It's like the most bizarre Stockholm syndrome bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It still baffles me.
It's very crazy. Well, this is also kind of crazy because
the Roman Empire actually ended up invading.
yes, you know she stole that from a mall.
She stole
from a
that
shopping
from
mall.
a freaking mall, dude.
You know, because you can rent those in the malls in China, just
Yeah.
like you can here. You can rent things for kids to ride around on. So she obviously got on it and just rode out.
Took it to the streets.
Yes.
Which I love.
I also kind of love this guy and his ridiculous hairstyle.
Last time he did like a Coke bottle with Mentos in it.
Yeah.
He's upgraded to a full ass axe.
Yes.
It's amazing. These hairstyles are getting out of control.
Yeah.
So this is,
gonna
remember we
pause it.
talked about Pick Up the Bike?
Yes.
Pick Up the Bike is a phenomenon if you've been around the show for a long time. You'll know that we play this footage in the background of us where we're in a Chinese city.
Yeah.
And in this particular clip, there's a bicycle that's obstructing the sidewalk and the road.
The road. It like fell over and yeah.
And we polled our audience. We said, would you pick up the bike? Because the right thing to do is you pick up the bike. Only 60% of our audience, which is a majority, would pick up the bike. 40% said they
Proud of you.
wouldn't. So we wanted to make sure that we could shift the public psyche and that you should do the right thing.
Yeah, do the right thing.
So pick up the bike now, when we say it, means do the right thing.
Yes.
This guy is the opposite of that.
Yeah, let's see.
Bro, he's missing a leg. And I think now I know why.
Yeah, he's pissed off at motorbikes or scooters. Maybe that's how he messed his leg up, right?
Yeah, and he also has a mile hair.
Yes. Okay.
This is wild.
Speaking of irresponsible, this was in Anhui, correct? This is part of the nose cone of one of the rockets that they shoot up into space because, the Chinese space agency doesn't care.
Yes.
Okay, just to show you once again, this is part of a rocket that they shot off into space as per usual, and it landed in the middle of a road on a blind corner.
Can you tell me why this happens?
Because they don't care. When they shoot their stuff into space, China, you can just take a look at NASA. When they do it, or any other country, when they shoot something up into space, they're very careful to make sure of the trajectory of whatever falls back down, like the first stage and the second stage. It's calculated so it falls down in the sea or in an uninhabited area, like a desert or something. In China, they don't want to bother with all that calculation. It takes time, and also you have to time it. It has to be at a certain, when the Earth's at a certain angle and all this stuff. They don't care. They just want to get it up. So they just shoot it, and they're like, well, it doesn't matter if it falls on some peasants anyway.
That's what I was about to say. It's really about that, cost savings and laziness.
It's laziness.
Number two is
also inability.
Inability, yeah. But it's the lack of care for human life and compassion. Remember, and I've told this story a lot of times, but I was in the car with a CCP official, so a Chinese government official, and he was ripping around on these country roads, these rural roads, and there were these poor, villagers basically, like carrying their rice and crops and stuff on the road, like walking. There's no sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
Because China's not set up well outside of the main cities.
Correct.
And he was ripping around and almost hitting them and actually like kind of spooking them to like fall off the road basically. And I was like, what's going on? He said, it doesn't matter if I run into one of these people, their lives are worthless. I'm in the government. It doesn't matter what I do.
Just a bragging piece of shit is what he was.
And he thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Again,
sick.
The reason why this is important is like, haha, there's a rocket on the road. But what if there was a family driving their car around the corner when it landed?
Well, we've shown footage of a rocket landing on villages.
Yes.
Leaking horrific fuel.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it does happen. And they're lucky that it was just the nose cone, right?
Well, I mean, even that would have killed someone if it landed on the car.
Oh, for sure.
Or if the guy come around the corner really fast.
Yeah.
And hit it at high speed,
If she was coming around the mountain when she come, she'd be done.
Mm-hmm. Now, time for some slopaganda, guys. Quick one here. Let's take a look.
This matches my shirt.
Yeah, it does.
Cool sound. Look at China's new innovation.
Yeah.
The plane helicopter hybrid. It's got millions of views.
Yes, this got millions of views.
Pretty advanced, isn't it?
Incredible, isn't it?
Pretty cool.
So I'm going to pause it there for a second.
Yeah.
This Twitter channel / account called How Things Work put this out. China's latest innovation, the plane helicopter hybrid, just as you said.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how China innovates?
Yeah. I'm like kind of squinting here.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It looks like a Japanese flag on there.
It is. It's the Japanese Defense Force thingy, emblem.
Yeah, this is not a copy of an Osprey. This is an Osprey.
It is
from America.
taking off in Japan.
It's not a counterfeit. It's literally an Osprey, not in China.
Yes. Luckily, it got a community note that says, it's a Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey, operated by the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force. And as we all know, there it is, made its first flight like 1980 or 1981 or something. It's been in development far before that. This is not a Chinese innovation. It is an American military plane helicopter thing.
I love that it's so far removed from reality, this post.
Yes.
On this huge influential account with millions of followers.
Yes.
It got millions of views. And it's so far removed from reality that not only was it not China, it was a Japanese air defense force.
Yes.
It was an American military craft, and it wasn't even a counterfeit copy.
Yeah.
Like, you could say innovation if they copied something, maybe, right?
No, it was
literally has nothing to do with China.
It was just an American plane.
In Japan.
Yes. So look at this. This is the channel that shared it out. How Things Work. The official How Things Work page, including tech, AI, and loads more. Also, all the best news and viral content from around the globe. And it has 2.2 million followers. I mean, what the hell? I can't stand this misinformation because there's a bunch of idiots out there who just scroll past to now think that China invented the Osprey. And it's China's innovation.
Can I say something?
Sure.
At How Things Work.
Delete the post.
Delete the post now. It's incredibly embarrassing. If you're running an influential account with this much push and sway, delete this post because it serves as Chinese military propaganda. Now, I don't know where you're from, but you probably shouldn't be posting Chinese military propaganda, especially when it's a blatant lie and it's wrong. You've been corrected and you've not made a response about it. Delete the post. Do the right thing.
Yeah. But
Don't be a piece of shit.
That's okay. I mean, here's another post of theirs. How Things Work.
Did you post that to them?
No, but I'm going to. I'm going to.
Winston made
Yeah,
this.
exactly. I made this particular one. But China's latest invention, fresh baked apple pie. It may as well be that,
You might as
May as well.
You
I'm
might as
sorry,
well
but like,
do that,
if you're going to put that out, you're going to put an Osprey there and say it's China's latest innovation.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah,
right there.
seriously, guys. I'm tired of this. China's stupid, blatant out there bullshit propaganda that you see specifically on Twitter these days. But of course, TikTok mainly, to be honest.
TikTok and Twitter.
TikTok, Twitter, any form of social media, to be honest, is really getting me annoyed.
Let's not be unfair. There are platforms that are way worse than others.
Oh, yes.
And Twitter
And
X,
TikTok.
And TikTok are like the Mac Daddy
Yeah, they are.
of Chinese propaganda
They are.
right now.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on.
Delete the post.
Yeah, delete the
That's
post.
such bullshit. That's a
Yeah.
huge account.
Yes.
Don't do that. That's wrong.
I agree. So we got some more funny clips here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. If you're desperate, you're stuck somewhere and you just have to get somewhere.
Bollard.
Bollard Report!
Ballard report.
Bollard.
Bollard Report is up. Is that China's putting up bollards, which are these parking, what are they called? Parking pillars? Cones, as we said, spheres?
No, posts.
Posts.
Yes.
Parking posts.
Yes.
And they do that to stop these rash of mass murders that are happening
Yeah.
right in China.
Dude, there was another one.
Yeah.
So another one
Let's
last
talk
week.
about that.
Here's the thing. I can't share it on the show. I have shared it
Yeah.
on Twitter, and I don't like to share these things,
No.
and I share them censored or I
Yeah,
give a
for sure.
warning. But there was another mass attack, and again, it was outside of an elementary school. And what happens is, when things go bad for people in China's society, especially now with the economic downturn, people have mental breaks, and the only way that they can take out their frustration is to go and kill children, school children. And I mean, it happens with the stab uncles that go and stab kindergartners, and it happens with these people ramming their cars into students when school's out.
Yes.
And it's awful. And there was another big one that happened last week. I'm not going to post it here. But that's why when I saw this particular clip, because this particular clip was, can you believe this was propaganda?
I was hoping you would start by saying that. This was propaganda.
This was propaganda. Someone posted out to say, look how much China cares about its school students, how safe they are. And it shows like them unveiling these railings here.
In a major city.
Yeah.
You don't
Okay.
get this elsewhere.
No. But the whole thing is it was propaganda. Look how safe it is. It's not look how safe it is. Look how desperate the situation is that they have to do this to prevent students from being run over by crazies.
The best way to say this is that's a weird flex, bro.
Yeah.
You're bragging that you need to have accordion guards to prevent grown men from murdering hundreds of children with their cars.
Yes.
Because that's what they keep doing. All the time.
I'd like you to take a note, by the way. Let's look at exactly what's going on here. Let's just...
Bollard.
Okay, so what you've got is, take a look at the guys that are pulling out. It's just a fence. It's a fence on wheels. You've probably seen these if you go, I think they import them because I've seen these exact things here in like Chinatowns and stuff.
Yeah, why are they always...
They always import these things.
Sounds why are they there?
I guess they're
Bollard,
cheap or...
kind of like a bollard in a way. Some accordion bollard.
Exactly. I even saw those things in South Africa as well, those kind of
did you?
fences. Yeah. Anyway, but you can see the guy on the far side over there, he's got one of those big sticks to like
one of those
stop
prods.
stabbers. You know, it's got like a thing. It looks like it's for cattle or something like that, like a dog catcher would carry. So you've got those guys. They're there for a reason, to stop the people that want to come stab children.
That's right.
They're dragging that out. But you can also see other guards. See, there's ones with reflective vests and so on. They're there only for the entrance, for when the kids go out of school. And that's to stop attacks against children.
That's why.
That's
so
the
what
reason.
What are you bragging about?
Yeah. So there they go. They line up. They're like all ready. They open another automatic gate there, allow the children to come across there, make sure no cars are going to ram into them, make sure no stab guys come along.
You know what the text, I don't want to dwell, but the subtext of that shouldn't be, look at how safe China is. It should be like, aren't you glad that in your country, children don't get run over by the hundreds by grown men in their cars?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, so just...
I think because what it was is like a big F you, like middle finger, like, look, we don't have school shooting type thing. You know, they always do that.
Yeah, they don't. They've got school stabbings and they've got mass vehicular homicides.
Correct.
Look, every country has its problems.
Yeah.
But you can't pretend just because another country has a problem that your country doesn't.
And then brag about the thing that you have to do to stop that problem.
Exactly.
Very weird.
Very
weird.
This is just, self-driving.
This is why we have bollards.
Self-driving cars are a menace.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Would you be able to fall asleep in this situation?
No.
I would quite literally piss myself.
I would never, ever. I know self-driving is fairly okay in some
I don't
circumstances.
care. I just don't care.
No.
Okay? That's why we have bollards. They're ripping at like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're just
all
going. They're
fast
sleeping.
asleep.
That's scary, dude.
That's scary.
Yeah.
This is also why we have bollards in China.
Okay, there's a couple of things about this clip. Okay, so obviously they want this guy to stop. He's probably hit something or he's done something. He doesn't care. He's just driving with the cops on the
EV.
Yeah.
What a surprise. You can tell by the green plate.
Yes.
Blue plates are gas.
There is something about this EV that really irks me, though. Never mind
Me
that he's
too.
trying to drive people over.
Dude.
Look at those front lights.
That is literally the logo for the Falcons, the NFL team.
It looks like a freaking eagle or something. And
It's
once
the
you see
Falcons,
it,
dude.
once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's
Look at
the
this.
ugliest headlight I've ever seen.
Look at this. Tell me it's not a reverse Falcons
Atlanta
logo.
Falcons.
Isn't
It
it?
is. It's the Atlanta Falcons.
What the hell?
I mean, come on.
That's like, dude, China's got some of the worst. I don't know how they get these influencers glazing China's stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like shit.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You know, they have a way around that.
It's like a fridge with a bird on it.
It is, but you know they have a way around that, right?
up?
Because they've got some cars that look really good, like
'cause they're-
like that blue Xiaomi one, because it's a copy of a
It
Porsche
looks like a
Taycan.
Porsche Taycan.
Because they took a car that actually looks good and copied it, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Look at these
Look,
good-looking
it's
Chinese
amazing.
cars," and it's because it's not a Chinese car; it's a copy of a Porsche.
It looks like a Pontiac Aztek with a bird on it. It does.
It does.
You took the most regarded
It's
car,
a
copied it, and put a
dumb-
Falcon on
It's
it.
the dumbest looking headlight
And
ever.
we should probably talk about what's happening here.
Yeah, I guess.
We can't ignore how dumb the car looks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bollard. You see, it's bollard report. There's a bollard
There's a
right
bollard,
there.
see?
You know.
Yeah. And that's what those are there for, to stop people running people over. Chinese people in China are frustrated. They keep running people over.
Yeah.
This one, at least, they don't get hurt.
Yeah, no, they escaped in there. Like, I guess when it escaped, it made like a,
It went,
you know, as it went away. Yeah, exactly. Like a sick hawk.
This is also why we have bollards. right outside the police station.
Yo, what's up?
Also,
Okay.
that's another reason we have bollards.
Now, this clip caught me off guard. And
Okay.
this is, from last month, the end of
Yeah.
last month.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think's going to happen? I mean, it looks like there's going to be some kind of accident. Maybe
Yeah.
something weird's going to happen. Something's going to fall on the road. What do you think's going to happen?
Let's find out.
Okay.
I
Let's
don't want
take
to
a
give it
look.
away. I saw it.
All right.
This one I did see.
Okay. Random wrong way delivery driver on
What
an
is he-
elevated road.
What is he doing?
Oh, well, he has to go pick up dropped his delivery stuff. He's picking
He's
his
going
things up, and
backwards
then
on
he's
a
like,
highway exit.
and then he's like, whoa! He picked it up and drove it into the other car. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I feel
this,
bad for him. You probably got confused.
we saw that self-driving
Yeah.
clip. This is why it's not safe in China, because self-driving is predicated on the idea that things are predictable,
Yeah.
that there's not going to be a random vehicle coming the wrong way in your lane.
Yes.
That there's not going to be a truck stopped in the fast lane on the highway.
Yeah.
That there's not going to be debris or something random or a hole in the road or something.
Yeah.
And in China, you just can't predict these things. It's very unpredictable. So that's what makes me worry.
Give us a thumbs up if you don't like what you just saw and you don't want that in your country.
Sure.
Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah. Now this.
So you got two cops. These are bike cops
Yeah, having a chat.
having a chat.
They're going to meet a popper.
Oh, we get to talk about poppers.
There is a popper.
Oh, and there's a popper. What a popper is, and I think you slowed it down, yeah?
No,
You
I
did.
didn't. Did I?
Yeah, you zoomed it in and you slowed it down.
I hope I did.
When I put together the media pack, I noticed you had done that.
Okay, cool.
So we're looking at this, and maybe you couldn't see clearly, but you have two police officers pulling away from a stoplight.
Yeah.
And what you're going to see on the left is something called a popper. And a popper is somebody that does not follow any sort of traffic rules. They pop out from nowhere and they
I'm
sideswipe
surprised
them.
he actually tried to stop and slid out, though.
Yeah,
Normally
pause that
they
real
just
quick.
go.
Yeah, so we've been in situations where we'll be going 100 kilometers an hour, and someone will literally pop out from the side of the road every single time we rode. Like if you rode more than an hour, you'd always see that at least
Oh,
once.
and they do it like fast, but then slow at the same
Yes.
time. I don't know how to explain
They
it. They'll
don't look-
pop out fast and then they go real
So
slow.
you're going this way, someone will come out from the side of the road and go straight through your lane, perpendicular, like literally cutting you
Yeah.
off while you're going 100.
Yeah.
And they don't care because they believe in something called yuanfen, which means fate. It means if it's their time, it's their time. So
Yeah.
they don't look, they don't wear a helmet. It's dangerous.
There's going to
Been
be
in
a
many
lot of
accidents.
it. Yeah, exactly. I actually caught that on camera.
Yeah,
Where I had an
you
accident.
hit
Yeah.
one.
A drunk dude did that.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, look at this. I'd like to find out how he's going to explain himself out of this situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, poor popper.
Yeah.
Good on the cops for hopefully arresting him.
It wouldn't be the China show if we didn't show you an explosion. So let's do that one more time.
Is this an
Again,
EV?
yeah, a little one of those mini ones.
One of those mini EVs. Wow!
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite the burn,
That was an intense one, eh?
Yeah.
You sure that was an EV?
It could have been. It looked like one of those little three-wheeled ones. Those,
Oh,
you
you
know
know
those
what?
mini ones?
And it probably had a propane tank or something.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because they carry those around very haphazardly.
Yeah. It's quite the spectacular explosion, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
But I got a bigger one, and
Now
again,
that's a popper.
yeah, guys, we have kind of a running PSA here. Oh, yeah, never mind this. Just a quick little distraction for a second. Oh, what happened to the other half of it?
Don't know.
Oh,
That's
never
what I
mind.
got from you.
Ignore that clip then.
Ignore it if you didn't see it there.
Yeah. This is a PSA. Lithium-ion batteries, especially in cheaper Chinese e-bikes, are a huge hazard.
This is a Chinese e-bike.
Yeah, this is a Chinese e-bike, and I cannot tell you just how dangerous this is. In fact, it's always good to just see these videos
Yeah,
because it
remind you,
reminds
right?
you. Because you're cruising around, you're thinking it's fine because everything's fine until it's not.
Yes.
Just the violence of the fires that come out of electric
Yeah.
vehicles is insane,
It is.
especially lithium-ion, vehicles.
And I know there's all these very pro EV people. We're not anti-EV. There's like very EV zealots, I should
Yeah,
call them,
yeah.
will just ignore situations like this and be like, if you look at the statistics, it doesn't matter. I understand the statistics. I get that, right? But that doesn't mean you don't examine bad quality EVs coming from China because
Yes.
they certainly seem to have a lot more incidents than anything else.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you could try to put those, as you can see, put those fires out all you want. They won't go out. he's throwing water on it. Like, you're not going to put out that
No,
EV fire.
it's going to have to melt to the ground.
It burns until it's done, and that's it.
Chinese cheap EV batteries, not good.
Yeah,
Not good.
exactly. And they come through all the time. They manage to find ways to make it into your market, even if there are safety standards.
For sure. EV became Flareon.
Yeah, I suppose so. What I'm saying is, like, if you've bought any kind of a Chinese scooter or electric-powered vehicle, don't keep it in your house. Like, sometimes people buy like one of those ride-on scooters, and they'll charge it in the house and put it under the stairs or something. Please keep it outside. At the very least, keep it in your garage.
Yes,
I
agree.
Just because, and it's just a PSA, because you know what? You think it doesn't happen, but when you look into it and you read about it, people lose their lives, people lose their entire homes because they bought like a Chinese hoverboard or something.
I looked that way for a second.
Yeah.
And I look over and I just can't see anything.
I mean, yeah, this is from a single scooter.
One e-bike, like a shitty little e-bike.
Yeah,
Imagine
exactly.
the damage.
Yeah.
From a proper big SUV,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, think about if you had this e-bike in your house.
Yes, well
Yeah.
said.
So what's going on here?
Let's see.
All right.
This is why you wear a seatbelt in the back too.
Yes, always wear a seatbelt. That's pretty
That's
funny,
just a
though.
fun one.
This poor driver, it's like a Uber type driver in China.
Yeah, the milk tea got everywhere.
Yeah.
Just everywhere. But by the way, pause this real quick.
Yeah.
This is
is the
serious.
main topic.
And it's very serious.
Yeah.
You guys saw the thumbnail. Concrete's expiring.
Yeah.
We're positing a theory, but we're also going to back it up with evidence.
Yes.
Our theory is that China has built almost everything in its big boom in the last 20, 30 years.
Yes.
It's built everything out of concrete, and that's true.
Yeah, concrete and rebar.
We've seen evidence now personally with our own eyes, with our own hands.
Yeah.
We've chipped away at it. We've seen that it's crumbling. We've also seen that it's being mixed with the wrong kind of sand, which
Like
probably has
sea
salt.
sand, which
Yeah.
might have salt, which causes accelerated corrosion in the rebar.
And we're now seeing, and something that you notice, this great phenomenon, and I don't mean great as in good, great as in large.
Yeah.
This huge phenomenon of buildings and bridges and houses and everything made with this concrete in the past 30 years
Yeah.
falling down at an accelerated rate more than stuff that was built 40 or 50 years ago.
Yeah, there's definitely a segment of growth, like explosive growth in China, where a lot of shortcuts were taken. They just wanted to pump infrastructure out there, wanted to build houses really quick for profit, and they used substandard materials, and the chickens are coming home to roost.
They are. And we posit that China will go through an absolute boom of things falling down. And it is actually currently going through it now.
Yes.
And that's why we keep showing you these things that are falling apart all the time, is because it's accelerating now.
Yeah, because now it's just kind of hit the sell-by date.
I think that's the best way to put it. That's what
Yeah.
we came up with. We're going to prove it to you.
Yeah,
Because of what's just recently
exactly.
happened.
And this is a massive, bridge in Beijing that's just collapsed this week.
Yeah.
We're going to cover this all. Before we get into it, though, we have some messages for you. From
From
friends
a
of
word.
the show. Just when you thought something good couldn't get any better, Extra goes and releases their Wallet Pro. Made with beautiful vachetta leather, it can carry more cards than ever before. And now with a slimmer profile, it closes better for that ultimate sleek pocket feel. The smooth pop-out mechanism now boasts a new ergonomic trigger, and the whole thing is made of 100% recycled aluminium. There are no compromises and no plastic parts used at all in its construction.
This wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Add the new cash clip and pair it with an extra tracker card that works on the Apple Find My network for that extra peace of mind. Grab your slimmer than ever Wallet Pro, the most versatile leather smart wallet. Right now, you can take advantage of Extra's spring sale, which runs until May 19th.
Go to partner.extra.com/China show and use the discount code CHINA or scan the QR code on your screen. Politics is a tough subject to tackle. Not only is it incredibly divisive, but it can feel hard to wrap your head around. Plain incomprehensible at times, and sometimes just too much. We can all acknowledge that politics often feels like a whirlwind of information. It's good to have as many sources as possible, and one good source that we found is the NPR Politics Podcast.
You want to know what's going on? Do you want to know what's going down in Washington? You want to keep on top of the news? These bite-sized 15-minute episodes are easy to digest, and they help keep you informed. Every day, the NPR Politics Podcast team will focus on one thing and make it easy. Think of it as a political multivitamin. They cover topics that are on everyone's mind, like this week, what's going on in the White House with regards to restructuring the federal government, executive orders, policy changes, and how all of this can affect you. Next week, a totally different topic. Next week, it'll be a totally different topic in the NPR Politics Podcast 15-minute bites.
The tone of the show is very easy. The tone of the show is very easygoing and easy to digest. It's light and super easy to understand. Listening to the show can add balance to your political landscape by offering another easy to understand perspective. So,
Yes.
thank you to NPR Podcast, Political Podcast, for sponsoring.
That's right.
So, if people want to check it out, where can they go?
They can just Google NPR Politics Podcast. We didn't even get a link for it. It's just a sponsor. It's great. It's great to get sponsors. It's been very hard to get sponsors recently, which is great.
I got to say, I normally would never listen to NPR. It's not my thing. I'm just, I'm more conservative side of things. But when they reached out, I listened to some of their podcasts, and, it's always good to get your information from all different sides of the spectrum, and it's good to have a balance. So, I found it very, very good and informative. So
Yes.
Yeah.
So shout out to our two sponsors today. Extra Wallets, which is makes a great gift, by the way.
Yeah.
We got some holidays coming up.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I know it's like a wallet's kind of a men's thing, but my wife uses the Extra Wallet.
Oh yeah, no, you know that white,
Mother's Day
the
works.
white one, the glow in the dark one. My wife uses that all the time. It's
Perfect.
fantastic. Yeah.
So shout out to Extra Wallets and NPR Politics Podcast. Go check out NPR Politics Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
And now it's time to get back to the show, guys. Now, where we left off, we were talking about this whole collapse thing that's happening right now. So I'd like to show you this bridge. It's called the Chaobai.
Chaobai Bridge.
Let's take a look. The Chaobai River Bridge. Okay. So I found exactly the one we're talking about here on
It's in the
Baidu Maps.
Xunyi district in Beijing.
Yeah. So this is in Beijing. This is the capital. Kind of looks like the KKK bridge.
What the heck, bro? Rein it in.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, no, it does look like,
you know what
it
I'm
does look like
saying.
some case.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the bridge. So we thought let's see what it actually looks like during normal, everyday, driving conditions.
You're having a bit of a seizure there. What was that?
Exactly. Yeah. This is the. Yeah. Let's take a look. Yeah. This is the bridge, the same one. Okay. And this week, look what happened to it.
That's insane.
So, I mean, you saw what it looked like. Just a normal bridge. You're just driving over a normal bridge. Everything seems fine. And then this happens. It's terrifying. This particular bridge, the official report coming out is that cables that were running underneath the bridge caught fire. What kind of a fire causes an entire bridge to collapse, though?
I mean, I think it probably contributed to it, right? But I like how that's the convenient excuse, right?
Yeah.
Is that, the fire just burned the whole freaking bridge down,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah. I mean, but for it to fail that easily is, it's kind of terrifying.
You don't want to be in a position where your whole country is sitting on stuff primarily built around this time,
Yeah.
just ready to expire at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Because you're going to find out this bridge isn't very old. We'll be explaining that in a minute. Just wanted to show you a couple more angles of this collapsing. Now, of course, traffic was stopped, after this thing collapsed. Again, they're reporting that there are no casualties, but it's impossible to know with the Chinese government. Because if you take a look here, okay, I'm going to pause it. You can see in the distance, over there, you can see that there are some trucks and some cars that have been stopped on the bridge. So how do you know that there weren't cars going over when it collapsed?
How would you know unless you saw it on video?
Yeah, exactly. Right. You wouldn't know, right?
No.
This person's on the bridge right now filming it, right?
Yeah.
So there are people on the bridge. There are cars on the entrance to the bridge there. Just impossible to know.
What do we got here?
This is the official report that came out on the day it happened. And Xinhua News Agency Beijing said, the reporter learned from the Beijing Municipal Transportation Commission on the 23rd that at 7:07 on the 23rd, a fire broke out on the Chaobai River Bridge in Xunyi District, Beijing. Part of the bridge was damaged. To ensure safety, the road was closed in both directions at the scene. I'm sorry, but the way this is worded, it sounds like, part of the bridge was damaged and the bridge collapsed, okay?
It literally collapsed.
Huge sections of the bridge fell into the river. The whole thing fell apart. And who knows? I mean, again, we don't know the actual casualties. How many?
Heat does change the, properties of metal, right? And
Yeah,
the
of
strength
course.
of metal. It makes a lot of sense, but the whole bridge collapsing on
Like
it?
that, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Well, here's some fun facts, okay?
I like your Joker. Is that a Joker Man font?
Closest I could find.
Okay.
So, the Chaobai River Bridge fun facts, all right.
Somebody said block the view, put the panels up. Remember when they did that?
Yes,
In
exactly.
the flood.
Okay, built in 1999. I don't know about you guys, but I remember 1999 pretty well. It wasn't that long ago.
No, I mean, like I said on our Xiaoban Ho the other day, I maintain it's probably the best year of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
Fantastic year.
it was again renovated in 2007 and, shocker, renovated and updated and also reinforced in 2015.
Yes.
So the last time this bridge was fixed up and reinforced was, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It's a bridge.
It's a bridge.
It shouldn't fail within 10 years.
No.
All right? I have some other fun facts that I thought we'd just go through. Since we're talking about... This is, by the way, remember, this is in Beijing.
Yeah.
This is not some far-flung small city in the middle
Well,
of
it's the
nowhere.
capital. It's where
Capital
all
city.
of the government's money is lavished.
Yes.
Is on the capital.
This UK Menai suspension bridge, fun facts, built in 1818. All right? I know that's when the construction started. I
I'm
think
pulling up my notes here.
it's completed in...
1826 was finished.
when it was finished. I mean, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's still there today.
Yeah.
And it has bluer sky because the bridge is responsible for that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just saying.
Yes.
All right. What else have we got here? The U.S. Brooklyn Bridge, fun fact, built in 1869. I think it was completed in 1881.
Yeah. I believe so.
That's when it was, they started construction.
Beautiful sky.
That is before anyone in this current world was born.
Oh yeah, my great grandpa.
He's born in 1869. All right, this has been around longer than humans.
He's zombieing around.
Like current humans, I should say.
Yes, current humans. That's true. There is no
There's
one
no
in
human.
this world that
Yeah.
remembers this time.
This is before history.
And I've been over this bridge multiple times.
Me too.
And it's a great bridge. It's probably one of the best bridges.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, it has not fallen down.
Yeah, this was not built 10 years ago, and it's still there.
No.
It's like 100-odd years ago. How about this bridge?
Classic.
Yeah, so the
Everywhere you
Full House Bridge.
The Full House Bridge. That's what it's actually officially known as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was built in 1933. Okay?
Yeah.
You think there's still some people around from 1933? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Bro. Are you okay?
I'm fine, of course,
Okay.
but barely. Barely clinging on to life over there.
My grandma was born in 33. She's rolling.
All right. So there's still some people around.
Yeah. My grandfather died relatively recently, and he was born in the 20s.
Wow, that's crazy.
He died a few months ago.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's still some people around that remember when
Plenty.
this was, inaugurated. They were like, the Full House Bridge is now complete.
Yeah, so that's what they said in 33, actually.
Exactly.
It's on the plaque.
Yeah, it's on the plaque
Yeah.
there, yes.
I think, what is it? Bob Saget actually showed
Yeah,
up. for
he
the
did. He was there
inauguration.
to cut the ribbon. Fun fact, another fun fact about the Full House Bridge is apparently they paint it all year round. By the time they finish by the time they reach the one side and finish, they have to start again.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane because it's just a constant painting exercise.
It is true, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's how you keep it maintained and it doesn't fail after 10 years. It's still
That's true.
around since 1933 when Bob Saget cut the ribbon.
I can't believe he was around back then.
Yeah, I know.
Or gone too soon.
Yes, absolutely. Now, back to China. This
What are we looking at?
particular, was this in Hebei?
Yes.
I think you've got it
let me
now.
pull up some notes here. This is very important. So this is in Hebei.
April 23rd, right?
Yes,
This
April
footage was
23rd.
taken. In Hebei, you saw their trucks and stuff going over this bridge. This guy is able to chip the concrete off with a little stone.
So he saw this, right, before a lot of the media was removed of this
Yeah.
bridge collapse. And what I assume happened is that he saw this bridge collapse and said, hey, I'm actually quite close, right? Because this happened. I mean, that bridge collapse did happen in Hebei, basically.
Yeah, it happened on the 23rd.
On the 23rd.
Same day as this.
So he probably rushes out, goes and says, let me go check my local bridge. Whoops. Well, lo and behold, it turns out it just completely disintegrates.
Well, this is what happens, okay? When rebar starts to corrode, it expands.
Yeah.
And then it actually pops off like the concrete that's surrounding it. And you get to see the exposed rebar like this.
Yeah.
That's when you know something's wrong, because the rebar shouldn't be corroding, and splitting and rotting away. And of course, like the concrete's so loose, you can just knock it off.
Yeah.
This is the bridge that those trucks and stuff are driving over. See, that's a support pillar for the bridge.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
can
it's in
see,
Guangdong. Oh, this is in Hubei. I'm sorry.
sorry, Hubei, not Hebei, Hubei. Yeah. Easy to confuse the two. One's a
Well,
river, one's a lake.
You got an ooh, and you got a
Exactly.
Right. You sometimes mix up the
Okay.
ooh and the
So I'll just read this. On April 23rd in Huanggang, Hubei, it was discovered that the steel bars of the load-bearing columns of the bridge at Fenghuang Guangshui section of the Huwu Expressway were corroded and exposed, and the cement was granular and would fall off if hit with a stone. And there were vehicles driving on the bridge. It's not, I mean,
I wish we put this in here. But do you remember that one collapse where the cars were just literally at night
yes,
driving off
a cliff, yeah.
They were driving off the cliff.
Yeah.
This is not unique. This is not new, but it does look like it's happening very often. The past 2 years or so,
Yeah.
we've noticed a huge increase.
Well, I'm pretty sure, again, in our audience, there are going to be people that are in the engineering, structural engineering, or who work in construction
we
or something.
always get people chiming in that are in that.
And they would understand this better than us. But
yeah.
my understanding is when you see that level of corrosion and it's starting to crack and fall apart, that's not going to last very long. And it's
No.
probably a good sign that you should be replacing that.
I just want to give some. It's
But
basic.
you can't, because it's already part of a bridge.
That's my problem.
You'd have
This
to
is
rebuild the whole thing.
basic math here, right? Every town or city that's near a body of water in China, a village, is going to have a bridge.
Yeah.
They're all relatively the same age now. And I say relatively. I'm not talking. I'm talking. There's not one that's 400 years old and
Yeah,
then one that's
yeah.
10 years old. They're all relatively.
They're all within the last 30 years,
Yes.
basically. Yeah.
So you're looking at a situation where multiple people have gone out and started chipping away at their bridges. What's the final outcome here?
Yeah.
Are you going to go, if you're the CCP, and go reinforce every single one of these bridges to save lives? Or are you going to do a massive media cover-up so that nobody can talk about bridges anymore? And quite literally probably ban the word bridge for being able to be typed
It's possible.
in Chinese. They did that with multiple things now, right? They brought candle and like all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. right?
there have been some horrific bridge collapses in China's recent history. Collapses have just fallen down on top of traffic, fallen down with trucks on top. You can see the pictures online. But these days, they're very good at quashing any discussion, like you say, and news about this. But it's not just bridges. It's pretty much everything. Here, what we have is we have some guys up here at on the building. Now, this is how air conditioners are mounted on buildings.
This will give you this. If you are afraid of heights,
Yeah.
you're not going to like this one.
No. So what they're doing is they're just testing this little ledge which the air conditioning
Yes.
unit is placed on, just by tapping it with a hammer. And look at the edge here.
This is the building.
Yeah. Now, can you see? You can see all the way down there.
Yeah. I mean, that must be 20 stories up.
Believe it or not, you get deaths from things falling off buildings in China. And
Yes.
it's common enough that there are warning signs everywhere for it.
You know what it usually is? The building cladding will
Yes.
come up, and you say, oh, it looks thin. It's just like kind of floating away. No, it kills people.
Yeah, of course. But it's not just building cladding. I mean, people drop things
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
that kind of thing.
For sure.
But, I mean, look at the size of this concrete slab that he's just removed from the
He's
ledge.
literally Jenga-ing himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the worst game of Jenga I've ever seen. What do you win?
Take a look. That was ready to fall off.
Yes.
Now, if there was some kind of wind or a slight seismic event, anything, but just
it-
weather would cause it to fall off and possibly kill someone.
Is it safe to say the building is made of that material?
Yes, of course. And that's one of these ledges. Let's go back a little bit in this clip and see if it's possible to see more. I don't know. I haven't looked at it close enough. Let's just get past this part. Yes, if you look down, you can see another air conditioning unit directly down. So it's going to be for however many stories on this building. And usually this kind of building, I'd say, have about 32 to 34 floors, thereabouts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to have tons of these things. They're all going to be in the same condition. They're all going to be cracked. They're all going to be ready to fall apart. And, I mean, that's just part of the building that's exposed, right? I'd like you to note that he's being held up by this, like, I don't know, flimsy-looking rope knot. I don't know. There's something about that just gives me the heebie-jeebies. You know what I mean?
Everything about this
It's
gives me the
just like,
heebie-jeebies, bro.
dude, it's not very good safety. And these poor guys, I mean, they're absolute heroes, these guys that go out here. I don't know how they do it, you know? But, I mean, what they're doing here is they're saving lives, okay? These guys. By removing those loose bits of concrete, they're saving lives.
No, for sure. But it just bothers me that this happens at such a large scale
Yeah.
in China, and we're potentially looking at thousands of buildings that are going to come down if this isn't rectified in some bizarre way. I mean, what do you do? Spray it with glue? Like, there's not much you can do.
Yes, and again, it would have to be up to the structural engineers, and people actually understand this better in our audience. But I would think that you'd have to do major renovation to these bridges and probably like prop it up with a temporary pillar, rebuild some of the support pillars that are showing all this corrosion and so on. But there's so much of it around the entire country. It's going to be impossible to keep an eye on every single bridge and every single thing, right?
It's got to be. And there's another thing I want to ask. People have been reaching out recently. They've been saying, I have pulled up all of my social media and I am so tired of how much promotional material there is for China right now, about how China's winning the trade war and China already won, and how China is this or that.
Living in
and
the
how it's
future.
Living in the future, and I see all these spectacular cityscapes. Do you now see what it's made of?
Yeah.
Can you in good conscience, I'm sorry, be telling me that China's already won what?
Yeah.
Being built of tofu.
Yeah.
This is a disaster. Just it's happening. I shouldn't say waiting to happen. It's already happening.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. All you need to do is put some Christmas lights on this.
Yes.
And take a drone shot at night and say China's living
And
in the
all
future.
of a sudden, it's Chongqing at night,
Yeah.
and it's the city of the future, and you get massive multi-millionaire influencers wandering around talking about how this is the most insane thing they've ever seen.
Yeah, on the 22nd floor.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
mean,
ground
like,
floor.
it's not going to be the 22nd floor for very long. It's about to be ground level.
It'll be really, really ground
And I'll
level.
tell you what, you won't be
Yeah.
able to say, oh my.
Yeah, where is that freaking thing? This'll be you.
Oh my days, chocolate.
You'll be chocolatoing on the ground.
Yeah, you'll be covered in rubble. But it's okay.
Yeah. Yes, sorry.
China is the land of shortcuts and facades, okay? And facade being the key word here. Because when you go to the major cities, they will have set up these very specific tourist areas. I'll just pause it on one of these.
One of these
One of
shedding
these-
seasons.
Yes, the shedding season in China. They set up these facades, and they'll have a main street, and it looks nice, and they'll keep it nice. But you just need to go beyond it.
Literally one street over.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and you'll see what it's really made of. And unfortunately, you can build something that looks impressive, but if you take shortcuts, it's going to collapse. I mean, how is it that a bridge that was renovated 10 years ago suddenly collapses by itself because of a cable fire in the capital city? Just like that, you know? That's not normal. Anyway, time for us to move on, guys. It's time for Soft Power Hour.
The main segment.
Yes. So, Soft Power Hour, of course, is where we tell you how China's trying to change your mind through soft power, and they're trying to do it through robots.
Quite literally. One of their biggest pushes right now is through robotics.
Yes, robotics, humanoid robots.
It's so prolific that you were telling me that even on your kids' radio thing that she listens to, has nothing to do with China.
Yeah.
Part of the segment they brought up was China's robotics.
Yes.
Trying to teach kids about this. And it's crazy because it's permeated every piece of American news, podcasts. I hear comedy podcasts talking about China's robots all the time now. I'm like, bro, this is everywhere, right? So clearly it's propaganda push.
We just need to, before we continue here, I just want to splash a little bit of cold water on everybody here. The humanoid robot idea is nothing new.
No.
Boston Dynamics is definitely ahead of the game when it comes to humanoid robots. They've got some impressive humanoid robots, and they have had for like over a decade now. You can look it up, and they can do incredible things, and they can run and walk and do backflips and, you know, do all their jumps and do parkour. This big humanoid robot, go do push-ups, do whatever. The Asimo robot from Honda in Japan, that thing has been able to play football and run around and do all these things like 15 years ago.
Yes.
All right?
Yep.
It's nothing new. It's something that's been done, and it's been done well.
Yeah.
China's coming along now and making toys. Okay?
It's basically
Toys.
remote control toys.
They are remote control toys. They are toys, but they're trying to make it out as if there's some kind of big revolution in humanoid robotics, but it's not. It's like trying to reinvent the wheel, but you make it square
yeah, like
and
it's
broken.
Suckier. It's suckier. It's true.
So, I mean, just to put that out there. Anyway, funny clip here behind us, which we're going to take a look at, of these self-driving delivery vehicles. Now, they're trying to work on the road. They got a big pipe over here, okay? And they don't want these stupid self-driving vehicles running over their pipes. So they're trying to stop them, but it's just like they're a menace.
So persistent.
Yes.
This is Robert dystopia.
It really is.
These Roberts are taking over.
Yeah.
And they're just effing everything up.
They really are.
It's very funny, though.
Yeah, this poor guy, he's so frustrated because he keeps like finding ways around. It's like, okay, well, screw you, I'll go this way.
Are you calculating?
I mean, this guy's getting a workout for sure. Here it comes again. What are you going to do?
This damn Robert.
Yes. But, okay, especially we've seen these models are the ones you see a lot, these Unitree G1 or the U1 or something.
They have bad mouths on them. I'll tell you what, they should have never taught him to talk.
No. But here we've got a very cool live show, and they're putting these robots out there to impress people. Let's see how it goes. I'll get us out of there for a second.
Wow. They're so foul.
They are foul robots.
It's these particular ones swear all the time.
Welcome to the world's first half marathon held for humanoid robots in Beijing.
So this was the play that again actually, because this was the marathon that China was pushing on all outlets. This is on every news source.
Yes.
China holds the first, and they big this up, the first half marathon for robot competitors.
Yeah, so now, like, I actually like this kind of thing because it reminds me of that, like, Red Bull thing where they fly off the water, you know, on stupid handmade planes. Or, you know that thing?
Exactly what you're
and
talking
no one
about.
ever goes anywhere.
No.
And it's actually, you'll see it's similar. But Beijing has this half marathon, but they thought, because they're pushing this huge, like, humanoid robot propaganda.
From in the initiative for robotics from the top, the budget.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, what we're going to do is we'll have our normal half marathon, but we'll also let robots compete in this half marathon so we can impress the world. But here's the part that they don't mention, that you don't really see. Your robot's supposed to run the half marathon. Now, if you could build a robot to run a half marathon, that is impressive. What they don't tell you is that the competitors were allowed to change batteries and repair the robots along the way.
Yes.
So there's no point then.
There's no point. Number two,
Yeah.
it's not what you think, because if you watch the propaganda, and I'm not going to spoil it too much, but if you watch the propaganda about this, it makes it look like it was some like futuristic, almost dystopianly amazing
Yeah, it was
achievement.
like all these robots doing all this cool stuff.
Thankfully, we've managed to get some footage of the actual half marathon.
So let's show you what actually happened, okay? Get us out of here. We're going to
It's
show you the real thing. Yeah.
incredible.
Let's take a look.
Welcome to the
Actually, we
world's
could probably
first
stay in here.
half marathon held for humanoid robots in Beijing.
didn't want to share this.
No.
And they're not happy this footage got out.
No.
This is the marathon. This is such an analogy for modern China under the CCP.
That doesn't count.
Come on!
Yeah. What is this thing? Wow.
It fell apart. They got run over.
Yeah.
What even is that?
I don't know. It didn't work though.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't work.
Yep.
This is a great marathon.
Yep.
He's yawning.
Yeah, so, okay, the thing is, I believe it was 21 humanoid robot companies. What?
It's the Special Robot Olympics.
It is. And 21 companies entered. I think 3 robots completed. I think 3 out of the 21. And
But with battery
But
changes and
that's like,
repairs.
okay, it falls over. You pick it back up, you
Right.
fix it, you put a new fresh battery and it goes another 5 feet,
Right.
falls over. That type of thing. But when you look at the propaganda, they make it out like it's something really special. Look how slow that's moving.
然后通过他的巨神大脑能做到这个。
Okay, I just wanted to show you like the kind of thing
It was like a high press event.
Yeah, take a look. Through its embodied brain, the robot can achieve real-time environmental perception and analysis. The robots that they all showed had a person with a remote
Yes.
control controlling it. It's a remote control toy.
Why is this impressive?
It's not using its embodied brain. It doesn't have an embodied brain. It has some sensors so it doesn't bump into things and someone with a remote control.
Yeah, and some of them don't. Not all of them have remote control, but they have a camera on them that
Yeah.
shows them where to go. It's not some embodied brain.
No, that's what I'm saying is it was hyped out to be something that
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's a fun event. They shouldn't have like tried to pretend it's something it's not.
It's basically like a soapbox derby for Boy Scouts.
Yes, that's what it is.
This was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. This was a government-sponsored, top-tier event put on by companies, not hobbyists. These are not like, I'm going to enter
No.
it's like you have your 10-year-old son is like, go on, son, enter our little robot we put together.
Yes.
You know, it's not that.
No.
It was top-funded, CCP-funded companies
Yeah.
with grants from
Correct.
the top government.
Yes, it's CCP companies, like
Yes.
I say, doing this. So yeah, anyway, that's how that robot marathon went.
Yes.
So when you see the Swish like stuff coming out about like, oh, look at this amazing marathon, just know that it was actually just a complete cluster F.
Yeah, it was a cluster F.
环境的这种实时感知，然后和分析。
All right. Oh, guess
What's
what?
this?
Shabanho, this is what you missed if you didn't watch us on
Today's
Monday.
kind of like if an entire episode, and you guys should be hyped for this, an entire episode was vote clips.
Something like that.
Pretty much.
Oh, yes. It's a blind person massage. Hopping on the cast leg. I remember going in school to one of those, and then they let you ride the ostrich around. I'm just wondering how he's breathing right now.
Yeah, wait a minute. Chain shape King Kong.
Yes, change shape King Kong.
Like police brutality, all this kind of stuff, right? Where are people sharing this when people bring up police brutality or ACAB and all that?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's these clips?
Yeah.
It is the greatest ammunition you could ever use against CCP apologists of all time.
Yes. Okay, so that's Shabanho. Now, for you guys out there who don't know, that's our VIP show. And I got to sneeze, so you take over.
Okay. We have a Monday show. That wasn't a sneeze.
No, it was a close one.
That was the worst
you know
sneeze
when
I've ever
you-
in my life.
You know when you like just manage to catch it on time?
Probably one of the most unsatisfying feelings in the
Yeah,
world.
I know.
You gotta let us sneeze out.
Too late.
Too late. Anyway, it's our VIP show on Mondays. It's fantastic. Our last one was really funny. You told South African stories from your childhood growing
Yeah,
up.
but we also showed the most ridiculous Chinese like clips.
You know, remember when I said it's the stuff we can't show on YouTube
Yeah.
on the China show? It was truly that.
Well, this is the thumbnail from it, right?
Yes.
China's Insanity Pro Max.
What WTF is even happening?
Dude, by the way, you know, I'm so sick and tired of this Pro Max nonsense, okay? Because, you know, that Apple came up with that, like an iPhone Pro and then a Pro Max. Every Chinese product now is the Pro Max. You know,
It
like
is.
we were looking at those.
Some car.
Yeah,
right?
we're looking at these cars because, you know, in Australia right now, the Australian what is it even called?
I can't remember.
ACCC?
L something or something. Oh, that. Yeah.
It's like the Australian Advertising Board or whatever, like fair advertising. They're suing a Chinese car company, SAIC.
SAIC. S-A-I-C.
SAC.
SAC.
Is it SAIC?
SAIC.
SAIC.
F-sake.
Yeah, F-sake. Okay, so there's a Chinese company, SAIC, that we know. We've driven some of their cars in China. They're not great.
No.
But they've been selling in Australia these pickup trucks. And they've been saying how amazing these pickup trucks are, right? They're off-road, they could do all this stuff. But they've been rusting. And people have bought like a car. By the way, a car rusting in Australia?
They don't have snow or salt on the roads like we have to deal with.
So anyway, there's been like 5,000 complaints of these things rusting apart.
Within years.
Yeah, between 2018 and 2024 or something.
Not like from the 80s.
No. So, and in their adverts, they're like, oh, it's rugged and you could drive it everywhere, but it's all like false advertising because they're just rusty pieces of junk, basically. Yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm even saying this is they've got like the LDV, whatever it is, T60 Pro, then they've got T60 Pro Max. I mean, come on, it's a car. Now you're calling it a Pro Max. Can you come up with your own terminology, China?
That's why we named it this.
Yes, that's why we called it what the F Pro Max.
Truly an insane episode.
Yeah.
I'll just put it to you this way. If you ever want a clip, and there's many clips in the show, but if you want a clip that you can take and show people why the CCP is bad, you'll quite literally see the Chinese government and their police forces beating up disabled people.
Yes.
And we covered it.
Yes, we did. Because
shocking.
if you can see in the thumbnail there, they've got riot shields and there's a person on a wheelchair there.
It's more than one person.
They actually beat up paraplegic people with amputees.
Yes.
They knock them off their prosthetic legs.
They knock the legs out.
It's the stupidest, most vile, insane thing you've ever seen.
Because they don't want people to look at disabled people.
Yeah.
This is China.
Yeah.
And it's a great poetic way to show how bad it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was our last episode, but we've also had a bunch of other episodes recently. Dangerous Stuff People Are Eating is Medicine. Very hilarious / kind of messed up one.
Sure.
We had China sus delivery driver core videos. They're trying to make heroes out of the delivery drivers right now, and they're kind of weird. Right now, still, we got the half price sale, so get in there. It's the best way to support us.
Yeah.
If you have the means, get in there at patreon.com/ADV podcasts, and you will be able to support us and see our Monday show every Monday. Don't worry if you just want to sign up. If you want to sign up now, you're not missing out on anything because you have the whole catalog that you can watch too.
Yeah.
100+ episodes.
It's fun. We hope to see you there. It's always a good time. So if you have the means, we understand it's a big ask, but if you have the means, please join us.
And if you do decide to do the top tier, you get to watch live, and we have interactive games. We handwrite Chinese names for winners.
Yeah.
There you could vote on the next topic. There's a lot of incentives.
Yeah. I was thinking, the splash screen we got here?
Yeah.
It's all Buryat.
Buryat.
That this is something we filmed ourselves. Well, maybe our cameraman filmed it for us.
We were in the scene.
Yeah, but this is in Inner Mongolia. It was a very interesting experience. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, we made some documentaries, and this was just part of it. I just wanted to give some context because we're always showing this dude. He was really a very interesting guy.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. It's not. We shouldn't give it away.
No,
you should
we're
watch
not.
the show.
Yeah, and that's us on motorcycles herding camels in Inner Mongolia.
And it was not set up.
No, it's very interesting.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's all our
worldview.
footage.
This is an interesting stat that I think everybody should probably pay attention to.
China jails most writers in the world for the 6th year in a row. Xi's government was also one of the biggest exporters of propaganda content. According to Reporters Without Borders, by the way.
Oh, Without Borders.
Borders.
Guys, do you know what that means? That means that the reporters don't have people living in their house.
Oh, I thought they just were lacking 2x4s.
Because Reporters Without Borders means they're independent because they don't have any dependents living in their houses.
There's no one in there.
Yes, room and
that's
board.
obviously a typo from the Independent.
The Independent needs to get an independent fact checker or spell checker. Yeah.
Not to make fun of the Independent, just
I'm going to make fun of them because that's a real amateur slip up.
I'm also going to make fun
Reporters
of them.
Without Borders.
It's not like,
seriously,
it's not like we
boarding school.
It's not like we have it slipped up in this particular episode.
Yeah, everybody does it. It's okay. We forgive you.
China ranks second to last on the groups. I like how we're laughing right now. Second to last on the global annual freedom index.
Yeah, it's second.
We're not laughing about this. It's terrible.
Behind only North Korea.
Yes.
So only North Korea is worse than China.
That's kind of staggering because we have Turkmenistan, we got Iran, we got some very oppressive nations out there. And somehow China's only surpassed North Korea in freedom.
Yes.
Why do you guys, not you guys out there that are watching Chinese propaganda,
China's living in the
buying
future.
this?
You know why they're buying it? Is because they can only see what the Chinese government allows out of the country.
Yeah.
They can only see the top level propaganda. That's why shows like ours and others
North
similar
Korea.
to ours are so important, because we have to show you the counterbalance to what's out there. China's propaganda machine is slick, and they have an iron grip on the internet, the Chinese intranet, really. They don't allow anything out. And if somebody posts something bad they see on the road, they will get disappeared. They will get dealt with. The post will be deleted. You don't get to see the bad stuff.
No.
You know?
You don't.
Like that guy who posted the bridge with the rebar, that post's gone. It's not, you can't find it anymore on the Chinese internet.
No.
It's gone. And he's probably gone too.
Yes. That's
know?
not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I want to show some pictures from
Sure.
this. It's
Okay.
very important. And it just gives you good perspective, right? I want you to guys look at this map, okay?
All right.
Get
Let's
this
take a look.
map here. And I think it's very important to look at, and the 2024 report is concluded now. This is why it's coming out now, right? This is the global picture. These are writers jailed globally in 2024. What is the darkest red country do you see there?
Well, China.
China, right? China had the most journalists, or not just journalists, writers, and we'll get into what that means later.
Yes.
Writers jailed in 2024, and it's only gotten worse. Right? It
sure.
only gets worse. I do want you to look to the left there at a beautiful swath of white. And that is no journalists or writers in America were jailed. Did have a couple of our European friends.
Oh, yeah. Like
jailing
the
some
UK
writers
is getting pretty bad with that.
The UK and Germany nowhere near
No.
the level of China.
No,
It's
but
not
the
even
UK is
comparable.
getting pretty bad with like arresting people for social media posts and stuff.
Yeah, so shout out to the I almost said shout out to the white countries.
Don't you dare.
Let me take it
Don't
out of
you
context.
dare.
Shout
Yeah.
out to the countries that
Depicted
are
in
not
white.
Even that.
Oh,
No,
sure.
you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Shout out to the countries that are not red
Yes.
on this map.
And that's good to say.
And that's
'Cause
good
it's-
to say. 'cause
You know?
you're not communist.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what's
Better
funny,
dead
though?
than red.
you
know?
look at countries though. You look at
Right.
the countries that are doing this, the greatest offenders. You got Russia up there. It's all authoritarian states that are doing
course.
this pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
move
look
on.
at this. Let's
Yeah.
look at this in
Okay.
detail because this is very important. Number one, and it always gets some perspective. You don't jail writers
Hmm.
unless you are a paranoid dictatorship.
Yes.
Right? China is streets ahead the rest of the world in
Yeah.
arresting people that talk.
118.
And wait till you see what this means, because you think this is someone writing a book, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay.
These people are going to jail, not for just writing books. Look at Asia had the most.
Yeah.
Asia and the Middle East in general, but China is really almost the only figure there.
Yes.
Look at this. What is the top category of people that were jailed?
Online commentator.
These are people writing comments on the internet.
Yes.
This is not someone that wrote some manifesto about how the government needs to be overthrown
No.
in dictatorship.
It's not a journalist.
No.
It's someone who left a comment on a video.
Journalists was number 2. The number 1 is freaking online commenters are
Yes.
going to jail
Yes.
for stating their opinion. Not for threats, for stating their opinions.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want to live in a world like that? I don't think so. China is not the model for this.
No.
You can say, oh, China's got it all figured out because you're consuming the propaganda they're putting out there. China is a mess. It has buildings that are falling down, and it has an oppressive, horrible media climate.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to stay on top of that so you guys understand. Just this year, 118 writers were jailed and 155 writers are at risk.
Oh, and there's far more. I mean,
Yeah, this is just what they managed to figure
Yes.
out, by the way.
now we all know that this current trade tariff debacle is still going on.
Yeah.
And of course, we're not seeing an end to it because there's a situation where you got basically two hard-headed sides that just don't want to back down.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't see it being resolved because that will mean one side is caved.
We got one side saying they've already talked. We got the other side
Oh,
saying
no,
there's no
yeah.
way that anyone's
The
talked.
Chinese spokesperson actually today said, no, there has been no calls between Xi and Trump. That's a lie.
Right.
They went out and said it.
Honestly, They like to lie a lot.
Yeah,
China
it's-
lies. It's their favorite thing.
Yeah, so you never know who's telling the truth in this situation. But you've got a bad situation. The whole world's suffering because of it. China specifically, though, is suffering a lot harder.
If you were to if this was some sort of sick sport, China is losing by leaps and bounds here.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry to say this, but, here living in America, so far, almost no change. Yes, prices will go up. Yes, you're not going to be able to buy your cheap Temu thing or your Amazon
And
cheap thing.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, it's going to be uncomfortable and a hard time for everyone around the entire world. Not going to joke, but it's far worse for the people of China.
Yes, and specifically the manufacturing industry. So, looking at some of these, Chinese factories slow production and send workers home for U.S. tariffs as U.S. tariffs bite. These factories are suffering. We actually have some specifics, and I'd like to read a couple of these. Workers at Dehong Electrical Products in Dongguan, in Guangdong, gave workers 1 month leave on minimum wage and said the factory was under significant near-term pressure as clients suspend orders, right?
Yeah.
We have plastic molding factories that are going under. We have endoscopy kit places, right?
Yeah.
That make things for the U.S. market that said they could use the rest of April to find new jobs and provided them access to a headhunting agency.
Wow.
We have a Yangguan Technology in Dongguan. They had to cancel all their weekend work, right? Mm-hmm. They had a man in Zhejiang said the toy factory he worked at, sold mostly to the U.S., is forcing management to give workers 2 weeks off. What do you think that means?
Yeah. They're not getting back.
Chinese electronic supply chains. We have all kinds of factories in this article that are under serious pressure right now as they can't fulfill orders. And remember, guys, China's not set up to combat this. You can read all the articles you want, and I've been seeing so many op-eds right now coming out of big publications, and they're saying, like, China's holding all the cards. China's got this all figured out. I can tell you just from video evidence, from factory people that work at factories.
I can also tell you that I was looking at a lot of the op-eds, and most of them are written by Chinese people.
A lot of them.
So, I mean, you take that as you will.
Yeah, I mean, look into it, I guess. But you have these factories that run the Chinese economy.
Yes.
These don't run the American economy. Factories don't run the American economy. America's a rich, developed country that uses primarily a services industry, right? Mm-hmm. And other things, higher level economic factors. China is a manufacturing economy that needs to make cheap stuff. And when you cut the cheap stuff off from its biggest customer, what do you think happens? There's no like massive calculations you need to make in your head. It's very simple to understand. This is going to devastate China.
People seem to really not understand, or they look at China from a Western lens.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of, especially through the propaganda, you see a lot of sophistication, you see a lot of money in China. You think that it's the same. A lot of people actually, Americans have this, especially the people looking at Xiaohongshu, a little red note. When they look at this, they think that in China, people are wealthier and people actually have a better standard of life and all this kind of thing. But that's just not true.
There was actually a campaign on Red Note. I think we talked about this. But if you are a Chinese person living in America, right, and you posted, like, I make a lot of money here in America, Red Note would remove your post at the behest of the Chinese government. And you had to say, no, you're poor in America. If you're a Chinese person, you say, oh, I'm poor here in China, they'll remove your post if you're poor in China. Only if you're rich in China, they'll allow your post.
Yeah. But that's the point I'm trying to make here is that, so you think that these people are rich and sophisticated in China and they're out there buying stuff like you do in America, because America's all about consumption, and it's to a fault. People just buy crap all the time, and it's for some, I don't even understand. It's kind of like eating. It's
retail
like
therapy.
It's just like, oh, I didn't get a package today from Amazon, so that means I'm just not fulfilled. You know what I mean? People are buying. They're looking for excuses to replace things all the time, and that's American culture. Good or bad, take it, as you will. In China, that's not happening. So when the American market stops buying all the Amazon goodies and the Temu and the whatever cheap stuff from China, that stuff sits there. Then they think, okay, well, we could sell it to the domestic market in China. But the people in China aren't buying that stuff. They have no need for that stuff because they've got some real cheap stuff that they can buy anyway. They've already got it, and they're very frugal, and they don't want to just keep buying stuff. And they don't. And if you've met Chinese people, you'll know they're very good at saving. They're incredibly frugal. They'll always find a way to get the biggest discount. They won't buy anything unless they're getting a good deal, that type of thing. So you don't have this like wanton spending culture that you do in America. So America's easy to sell to. China's very difficult to sell to. And so these factories cannot get rid of their stock.
No.
Because no one's going to buy it in China, you know?
No.
Anyway, what's this street view you've got over here?
It's just one of the factories that was mentioned. I believe this is Dehong, but this is a whole factory district in Dongguan, just so you get an idea what one looks like.
Interesting story. I drove into probably this exact area.
You did.
I wanted to find out where the YouTube play buttons were made.
Yeah.
Because
So you went there.
it was kind of a weird situation. They don't send the YouTube play, at least back then, they wouldn't send it to an address in China. So I got them to send it to a friend of mine in Hong Kong. Just when you thought something good couldn't get any better, Extra goes and releases their Wallet Pro. I'll continue my story after we show these wonderful Extra wallets one more time. Made with beautiful vachetta leather, it can carry more cards than ever before. And now with a slimmer profile, it closes better for that ultimate sleek pocket feel. The smooth pop-out mechanism now boasts a new ergonomic trigger, and the whole thing is made of 100% recycled aluminium. There are no compromises and no plastic parts used at all in its construction.
This wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Add the new cash clip and pair it with an extra tracker card that works on the Apple Find My network for that extra peace of mind. Grab your slimmer than ever Wallet Pro, the most versatile leather smart wallet. Right now, you can take advantage of Extra's spring sale, which runs until May 19th.
Go to partner.extra.com/China show and use the discount code CHINA or scan the QR code on your screen. And now, back to the show. So let me continue my story here, okay? I'll make us big here. Actually, get us back to this. So I went to Dongguan. Because what happened was when they sent it to my friend in Hong Kong, the shipping label remained intact. Because I don't know how they do it, but when they send it overseas, I don't think it shows the factory it was made in.
Right.
But it had the shipping label, and it told me it was from whatever Golden Lion, whatever it was, factory in Dongguan. And it still had it in Chinese, so, I can read Chinese. I figured it out, and I was like, well, I have a video on my channel about this. Let me hop in my car. And let me drive there. I'm going to check it out. So I drove all the way there, and I tried to gain entry. And I didn't, and I wrote a note to say, thanks for sending me my thing, and so I wanted to try and give it to the person because it had a person's name from the factory. And I gave it to the security guard, but they wouldn't let me in. But it was like a end of world looking kind of scenario.
Yes, I remember. I saw footage.
It was. It's depressing because you stop there and you've got, obviously it was like end of work or lunchtime, and just like thousands of factory workers just come and walking out there, and they were just like all worn out and bad and tatty, sad looking. And it was like, well, this is where all your stuff comes from, and it's not very nice.
It's not. The reality is not something you want to see.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have a word.
Yeah, before we get into our Q&A, guys, which is, of course, where we answer your questions and you question our answers, sorry. You've got a word.
Politics is a tough subject to tackle. Not only is it very divisive, but it can be hard to wrap your head around, plain incomprehensible, or just too much too often. We can all acknowledge that politics often feels like a whirlwind of information. It's good to have as many sources as possible, and one good one that we've found is the NPR Politics Podcast. Do you want to know what's going down in Washington? You want to keep on top of the news? These bite-sized 15-minute episodes are easy to digest and keep you informed. Every day, the NPR Politics Podcast team will focus on one thing to make it easy to understand. Think of it as a political multivitamin. They cover topics that are on everyone's mind, like this week, what's going on in the White House with regards to restructuring the federal government, executive orders, policy changes, and how all of that can affect you. Next week, a totally different topic will be covered in the NPR Politics Podcast 15-minute bite-size episodes. The tone of the show is very easygoing and easy to digest. It's light and super easy to understand. Listening to the show can add balance to your political landscape by offering another easy-to-understand perspective. Politics might move fast, but you can count on the NPR Politics Podcast to declutter it all for you. Listen to the NPR Politics Podcast, only from NPR, wherever you get your podcasts. I don't know why my voice got deeper towards the end.
Because you want to sound like every other advert.
I got it, yeah.
Anyway, I think it's good. It's just like, part of your complete breakfast kind of thing, It's
sure.
good to have different perspectives. It's good to balance out your view and see from all sides. so.
Absolutely. There's no harm in that.
Yep.
Right.
Anyway, guys, it's time for Yamcha. And for those of you who don't know, Yamcha is our questions and answer segment where, again, we answer your questions and you question our answers.
That's
Right,
right.
so let's get right into it. It's Friday, by the way, guys. Thank goodness it's Friday. What a week this has been. I am so glad this week's coming to an end. I don't know about all you guys, but
I certainly am as well.
I got some nice cold beers chilling in the fridge, waiting. Yeah, just cannot wait.
Me too.
Yeah. So anyway, loosen the tie and let's get to it.
Dubstep Kid says, thanks, guys. Much love. Remember dubstep?
I do. Skrillex. Yes.
AIDS Skrillex.
Yes.
What was that again?
That was part of that like whole culture war thing.
Oh, yeah. AIDS Skrillex.
Yeah, Call the Cock or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Those are the